Vikes now. We are back for another episode. We're going to be doing a preview episode this time. Last couple weeks we've been doing recaps, so we're actually going to get on top of it this time. And we're recording this on the night before the Vikings take on the Chicago Bears. Big time divisional matchup. If recent history tells us anything about the Vikings with JJ McCarthy at quarterback, it's that we're going to win this game and JJ McCarthy is going to take over. Hopefully that's the case. Um, that would
Yeah,
be nice, but
I
yeah,
love doing a preview episode because it's filled with untainted optimism, which we have
yeah,
not had much of before games this season. So really
absolutely.
excited for that. But also like you said, it does. If it does continue with trends, we will win. But also, this could be JJ McCarthy's first win at home. So fingers crossed on that, man.
Still waiting on that. Maybe he's just a. I mean, I'm all good with a quarterback that's a road warrior. But
You got to win at least like half your games at home, if not more.
yeah, and that's being nice. Um, but yeah, we're taking on Chicago Bears tomorrow. I personally, of course, we're gonna dive into it. I personally don't know entirely how to feel this one about this one. I am always kind of skeptical about beating a team twice. Like even though division sweeps happen every year in the NFL, beating a team twice is a very difficult thing to accomplish, even if it is the seemingly fraudulent 6-3 Chicago Bears. But you were telling me pre-show during our very wonderful discussion that was totally about football. That you're pretty confident in the outcome of tomorrow.
Yeah, I think 10 or more points should be. I think a win by 10 or more points. I don't know why. I just don't think this Bears team is very good at all. I know they've been on a streak recently, but like if you look at the streak, they got a field goal block versus the Raiders to pull off a win. The Commanders kind of handed them a game in there. They beat up on just like teams who aren't good. And I do think
Mm-hmm.
that Caleb Williams has benefited from facing subpar defenses. And again, facing a Brian Flores defense. What do you got, man? Let's see what you can do this week. I just don't see them being very. And again, Jalen Johnson being out this week, such a godsend because I think he's their best player on either side of the football. So
Yeah,
I'm
I would
glad.
I'd a million percent agree with
Yeah,
that.
and even
Um,
Jaquan Brisker being questionable, you got your two best members of secondary out, and Justin Jefferson who says he's going to come back with renewed focus.
mhm.
It's not an ideal combination, man.
No, and to your point about kind of the flukiness of the Chicago Bears this year, it sounds a little bit familiar of a certain 2022 team with a
Yeah,
first year head coach that's an offensive
offensive
guru.
guru
Um,
inheriting a quarterback he necessarily may not have wanted.
yeah, uh, yeah. Hey, I mean, you know. But if we take a look here, we see the full injury report. As Preet mentioned, Jalen Johnson is out. Something I didn't realize, Tremaine Edmonds is also out tomorrow. That's huge. Of course, Skylar
Yeah,
Gordon is on IR, so that's secondary, especially if Jaquan Brisker isn't playing tomorrow. Secondary is looking rough for Chicago.
and even if it's like even with that without it, their run defense is not very good. This could be a game where you again. I think the problem with the Ravens game after the first two drives was we were living in for first and long, second and long, third and long situations all game. You may not have that this time,
Yeah,
especially if you can get Aaron Jones going or even Jordan Mason. One of the two get one of them going. You'll be in plus territory.
yeah. And this game, you would think, especially with the injuries, because the Bears' defense is not that good anyway. They're just again going back to the fluke, the 20 turnovers they've created. Like there's a lot of turnover luck in Chicago this year because they're top 10 in terms of allowance of points and yardage this year.
I think Arif Hassan said this the year the Bears finished first in the division with Mitch Trubisky. He said something along the lines of like this will come back down to earth because turnovers tend to regress. They may not
Yep.
regress this week. They might force a couple turnovers, but it's not a sustainable metric on defense, especially when you're giving up as many yards and points as the Bears are.
Yeah, and it sounds nice to create some turnovers because that's something that the Vikings aren't doing particularly well this year. They did it really well last year, But of
Yeah, but
course,
again, we knew that was going to come to an end eventually. We got to turn over in all
yeah,
17 games until the last one, and then happens. Your
yep,
turnover luck does tend to regress. But I'm looking back at the Bears like last couple games. The streak kind of starts. They beat up on the Cowboys. You expect that. They
mm-hmm,
barely skate by against the Raiders. They barely skate by against the Commanders. They beat up on the Saints. They lose
mm-hmm.
to the Ravens with was it Huntley or was it Rush? It's one of the two.
I don't know
They
if it matters.
yeah, they nearly choke a game against the Bengals and have
Yep,
to have a Colston Loveland immaculate performance to get back from there. And they get very fortunate. Jackson Dart gets concussed, and they survive against the Bears without or the Giants without Cam Scattervoo and Jackson Dart.
yeah,
Man, they'll let you score on them. They'll
yeah,
let you. And Caleb just again, we talk about JJ McCarthy only really playing good for one quarter and that being a trend. Caleb's in these games has not had more than one really good quarter.
yeah. And to your point on,
Wait, could
uh,
you scroll down real quick and just show
y-
the rest of their games?
yeah,
There's maybe one game where they should be favorites in this entire
mm-hmm,
thing.
yep, yeah. They're barely, as of right now, this could change. 2.5 point dogs to the Vikings, which means technically they're a half-point favorite, but Vegas, if you didn't know, gives the home team 3 points on the spread. And then they're favorited by a point and a half against the
But
Steelers.
yeah, again, home game, so
Yeah, uh,
same.
by
Yeah,
by the way, for all the betting folk out there, 48. Now, I know defenses, uh, Chicago's isn't great, but 48.5 points for a Vikings Bears game, that's a lot of points if you're into betting. But yeah, Chicago's schedule doesn't look too good the rest of the way for them, and the same for the Vikings. Honestly, just what you were saying about the Bears with how they kind of need all this stuff to win games. The Vikings consistently have been shooting themselves in the foot. Well, they did it mostly against the Ravens last week, and the Ravens don't look at the record because they didn't have Lamar. The Ravens are an AFC contender, and we should all probably know that. Minnesota just shot themselves in the foot time and time and time and time and time and time again. Should have done it 8 times for 8 false starts,
I think
but
what did Garrett Wilson say? Or I think Brees Hall or someone like that said it. Teams shoot themselves in their foot, and then we shoot ourselves in the face.
that's tough. I didn't hear that.
It was an elite quote, man.
Yeah. But yeah, Minnesota just consistently shooting themselves in the foot. And again, even with the Eagles game in week 7, I know Carson Wentz was quarterback for that game, but I think that's another game they should have won, but they went 1 of 5 in the red zone. And of course, the Carson Wentz kind of lights are too bright moment going against his former team didn't help a ton. Chargers game, obviously, that was just,
Yeah.
we don't even
After
talk about
that, after that Isaiah Rogers pick six got overturned, I'm like, I know where game is going.
that. Yeah,
I've seen this one too many times. We
yeah.
don't win. Also, like, I think every Vikings fan who's like a true Vikings fan for a long time circled that game as like, oh, West Coast game, Thursday night football. This is a loss. This is a guaranteed loss. Pencil it in.
Absolutely. So yeah, tomorrow's a game. It's a divisional matchup, so it's going to be weird anyway. But it's between a team that needs this fluky stuff to happen, and then they're going against the team that keeps shooting themselves in the foot, but are staying in games most of the time. Of course, the Chargers game they didn't shoot themselves in the foot; they just got dominated. But yeah, and I would say like the Vikings
They need this game.
they
This
have to
is
win. Yeah, not even just for their record, but the divisional record to go 3-0 would be a huge notch in your belt. And then look at their schedule. I mean, it gets a little light in this 3 game stretch, but
yeah.
you're going,
December, you could theoretically go undefeated in December and wouldn't
yeah,
bat an eye, but
yeah,
November doesn't look like the rest of November doesn't look too kind to you.
mm,
Granted, I do have some opinions about the Seattle game, but I'll get to that. When we cover that game. But
yeah, yeah. You
I,
gotta get out of tomorrow because you're going to Green Bay
yeah,
and Seattle the next 2 weeks.
yeah. Like I said, this is a team that needs this win. I think the Vikings definitely need this win, but the Bears also will be looking at that further schedule. And again, I think teams can tell when they're very fluky and when they're lucky. I think the Bears will know we've been kind of lucky to skate by a little bit, and we need this win as well. So it'll be just two teams who both understand the spot they're in, just trying to slug it out.
Yeah, and the Vikings are getting a little healthier, looking a lot better than it was earlier this season. Ryan Kelly will be back in the next couple weeks. Jonathan Grenard, this probably be the only game he misses. He might miss next week.
The fact they didn't
Um,
put him on IR, very
yeah,
happy about that. But also, like, they didn't put JJ McCarthy on IR, and he was gone for like 6 weeks. So, like,
I thought they did.
no, they never put him on
Oh
IR.
wow. Yeah, I guess that makes sense because he would have to go in the 21-day window. But yeah, and then so that's really their only two injuries, and they're used to not having
Oh,
Ryan
Kuda.
Kelly in the lineup. Akuda, I don't count as a real injury. No
He has a
disrespect to Jeff Okuda.
32.4
He's
grid. Christ.
yeah,
I
not
knew he was
even
bad. I didn't know he
yeah.
was that bad.
It's bad. So I don't really count it because I've always thought Fabian Moreau is better than him anyway, to be honest. And of course Carson Wentz out for a year. Gabe Murphy doesn't really play anyway. So Vikings used to not having Ryan Kelly in the lineup. Jonathan Grenard not having him sucks. But that we find out who Dallas Turner is tomorrow, pretty much. Like
Yeah,
we have to.
I think he played very well against the Ravens. Just got really unfortunate with that body weight call.
Yeah,
It's one of those things where, on paper, yeah, sure, right call, but
yeah.
man, stupid rule.
Right call, dumb rule. Unfortunately,
Thanks, Packers
um,
fans.
yeah, the Anthony Barr rule. But yeah, I guess just looking up at the metrics over here. This is again PFF. People love PFF. People hate PFF. Either way, um, similar matchup for the most part until you get to the offense. The Vikings offense. Again, they're developing a quarterback. Hard to read a ton into that. I think they're bottom five this year actually in offensive total yards. So the injuries. Of course, you don't want to see injuries, but the injuries to Chicago's defense. Like Minnesota, we got to see some ball movement tomorrow, and I'm not talking
Yeah,
basketball. Tomorrow's got to be a McCarthy game.
yeah. Jackson Dart looked very good against these guys, and when I watched Jackson Dart play, I think that's what I expected JJ McCarthy to look like. Let's see something similar. Let's see you play at that sort of level.
Yep.
Again, I know it's been one of those things where hey, he's only had 4 starts. Let's dial back the criticism on him, but tomorrow's a game where you just have to put up or shut up, and let's put up, man. Let's see what you
Yeah,
got.
and again, like the things that I have liked about McCarthy that I think all Vikings fans should like about McCarthy is that, um,
There seems to
yes,
be improvement every week, at least one aspect or
yeah,
the other.
yeah, he's got to tune in the arm a little bit because he's still overshooting a lot of stuff. I've compared it personally to like Josh Dobbs a couple years ago. Like the Dobbs Insanity run was so fun for those 7 or 8 quarters that it actually was, and that might be being nice. But Josh Dobbs could not throw the football at all. Everything was high. He just ran good, and that's kind of been the case for McCarthy. McCarthy's shown way better ball placement than Dobbs. I'm not saying McCarthy's the same quarterback as Dobbs, but um,
I
another
really love
key,
his connection with Naylor. Seems like that's his
yeah,
guy.
yeah, and on that, like Jalen Naylor can't be your best wide receiver tomorrow. I mean, look, I love if he's gonna go for 100 something yards, but like he can't. That
Can't
can't be
yeah.
a consistent thing.
Also, like if he keeps doing that, he's not going to be a Viking next year.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be completely against it. I feel like Jalen Naylor is very replaceable, and I don't want to be the team to,
Overpay him,
yeah, just like I didn't want us to with KJ Osborne. Uh,
man. That
and
KJ Osborne stuff was so predictable.
yeah, I think Jalen Naylor is better than KJ Osborne,
Oh,
but
leagues ahead.
yeah, but like, it was so obvious. KJ Osborne had that Gabe Davis effect to me, where a lot of people just thought Gabe Davis was good, mostly because of that 4 touchdown or whatever playoff game. But if you looked at Gabe Davis and KJ Osborne, like bad weeks happen, but when literally 60% of your yearly production is coming in 3 or 4 games, you might not be that good. And I don't know what the numbers for that are on Naylor, but that was the case for Osborne and Davis. Um,
Yeah, we have a kind of a problem with the end of our depth chart wide receivers, especially with Adam Thielen picking fights with the NFL officiating committee before the game.
I love it. I mean, it doesn't
I
really help.
don't.
It doesn't
I
help.
don't.
It doesn't help a thing. But I kind of like the. If okay, if Adam Thielen was doing this, if Adam Thielen was calling out the referees in like 2018, I'd be like, oh my god, this is so baller. But he's doing it in 2025, and the
Yeah,
man's pushing
right.
40.
Yeah, right now, it's giving old man yells at cloud.
Yeah,
Also, like Adam, it was a flag. Like it was very
yeah.
obviously a flag what you did.
Either way they called it, like it was a penalty. But
Like
yeah,
okay, it's not pass interference. It's illegal block in the back. Like, does that really make you feel better, man? Does
yeah.
it?
I get it on the field. Like emotions happen on the field.
Oh yeah, and he's always been a fiery guy. That's what we love about him.
Yeah, but like
Like, pack it
after
up, Unk.
4 days going on to K fan or whatever it was, or not K, it was
It was
I can't remember.
K-Fan.
It was
It
K
was
fan. 4 days later, you had a couple sleeps on it. You had some time with the family, and then going like refs are fanboys.
refs are fanboys is so funny. It gives someone who knows he's retiring at the end of the season.
Yeah, is he wrong?
Not necessarily.
I
It's
don't.
not necessary. Listen, he's not wrong, but it's one of those things where, like, man, don't say in season. These
Yeah,
fanboys have long memories.
they do. And God forbid you go against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he
It's not
said
gonna happen,
he
but
brought
like,
up Patrick Mahomes. Like, oh, they're just so excited to shake Patrick Mahomes' hand. I'm like, oh,
yeah. If you're Pat Mahomes listening to that, are you just like,
you're like, why me?
yeah,
I
he
mean, is
should
it?
he should know why him.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, getting off our soapbox about our King Adam Thielen. Key to the game tomorrow, of course. We mentioned Dallas Turner, Vikings fiery
Ooh.
pass rush is not going to be. It might be as effective, probably not. I'm not going to put a ton of stock into it because
Can
being
I?
without Grenard is going to
Yeah.
suck. But yeah,
Can I just say one thing specifically that I've really liked about McCarthy is his A dot is the highest in the league. Yeah, you're gonna
oh
take
yeah,
shots. You're gonna take chances. This is the perfect secondary to take chances against, man. Let's see it.
yeah.
Let's
He
let it
loves
rip.
to go downfield. I wouldn't. I'd be shocked. I mean, it happened last week, so it's not making some bold prediction. But I wouldn't be shocked if one of his first three throws, and it's felt like it's been that way for every game he started. One of his first couple throws, except for the week 1 game, is a shot. Like his first throw against Detroit was a shot. It was. I
Yeah, it was
I
Addison
still
20.
think I think the Addison throw that ended up being incomplete was like that's the
Maybe his
best
best
throw.
throw. Yeah.
I think it like for sure is. Like the Naylor throw was good. If we're gonna nitpick it, it was a little underthrown. That Addison ball was so on the money, and it got me so amped to where I was like, "Oh,
I think.
oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, we got something. I think more
yeah,
than anything, this game is going to come down to two things. It's going to come down to can Chicago force turnovers and can JJ McCarthy protect the ball. That's all it is, really. Because JJ
yeah,
McCarthy, for all the praising I've done of him, and maybe undeserved at times, but I see the progression that's going to be there. He got to protect the ball better, man. I think he's
mm,
thrown 6 interceptions in 4 starts. That's unexcusable. That's
yeah,
we're pushing Jameis Winston territory here, man. Let's not be in conversation with that guy.
yeah." And this almost I don't want to say it goes for every team in the NFL. I don't think the Bears are some bottom dwelling awful team. I don't think they're a 6-3 team, but I also don't think they're like a 1-7, 1-8 team.
I
It
think
kind
both these teams are closer to 500 than anything else.
exactly. Um, I think it really might be just as simple as hold the turnover. I mean, I would love you to have 0 turnovers tomorrow, but like max it out at 1 turnover tomorrow, you win. That's just what it
Also, just
is.
again, I think you're looking at pressure rating, passer rating clean versus passer rating under pressure.
Hmm.
It's a 45-point drop off.
Yep,
You got to
that's
get in
huge.
Caleb's face. It
And
has
then
to happen. And
check
again,
out JJ. He
yeah,
has a 7 point
I
raise.
tried not to check out JJ there, but
Yeah.
yeah. So like that's gonna be the main thing. And again, I think the best game of their young Vikings careers for Javon Hargraves and Jonathan Allen were against the Bears.
Yeah.
Can you repeat it?
Yeah. And then with McCarthy's, I'll bring it up. The clean passer rating. not good. I was
To be fair,
and
how many times has he really been clean? Has it been like
yeah,
5 snaps?
yeah, he is the most pressured quarterback in the NFL. I think it's like 31.3%. Um, I he it's not entirely not his fault. He holds the ball a lot and he takes a little long to make decisions. Again, virtually a rookie quarterback. It's going to happen. It'll get quicker as the season progresses. I was gonna say keep JJ clean tomorrow, but I actually don't know if I want him to be clean tomorrow. But I also
I
don't
mean,
want him to get
he
hurt
he
again.
he might just be clean on virtue of the Bears' pass rush isn't good.
Yeah. So this is I said the Vikings really couldn't have asked for much better of I guess a bounce back game here after losing to the Ravens because like McCarthy of course did not look great. First quarter was awesome. That's kind of been the tale of the one or two good quarters a game.
Yeah. Also, going 3-0 in the division to start is so impactful.
Yeah, it's huge, and I'm actually gonna look up the standings because I the NFC is like the NFL in general is so wide open. Of course I don't feel great about the Vikings. Like I don't even like thinking about playoffs right now because again it might be a cope, but
I think we're
my
two games back,
yeah. So
or
we're
sorry,
at
one and a
10.
half. We're one and a
Yeah,
half game
so
back.
we're very, very, very much in the discussion for the playoffs. Of course, you got to get to the seventh seed. So if
But
you
also, like
can,
right now, you just control your entire destiny. If
yeah,
you win all your division games that are left, you're gonna be in the playoffs most likely.
yeah,
Unless you
yeah,
just manage to bungle every other game, you're gonna be in the playoffs.
it's as simple as just win. And if you can knock off Chicago, which I think they knock off Chicago tomorrow, formal prediction. And if they can
Yeah,
walk into Lambeau
like
next week,
if you beat Chicago, Chicago maybe has one or two more wins. They're like in their schedule max. They're maybe 8 and 9, and if
hmm,
that's if they're lucky, they're 8 and 9.
yeah. And again, no, I mean, okay, shade to Chicago. I hate Chicago, but again, they remind me a little too much of the 2022 Vikings to where it's just the fluky things are happening, but the offense isn't nearly as good as the Vikings 2022 offense was. So give the Bears a year or two to let it mesh. I think the Bears are on a good trajectory. You mentioned something too pre-show about how it's the cycle for the Bears never seems to line up about the GM and the head coach, but
Yeah, so um, I just look at it and call like you don't have to agree with the situation or any of those guys, the guys here, but KOC, Quasi, and JJ McCarthy they're all clearly in lockstep with one another. You
mm,
know, they're all on the exact same cycle. Everything meshes well with them. With the Bears, it first came Poles, then Poles drafts Williams, and then afterwards, the third thing they get is a coach. They're not getting these guys in like the correct order. They're not with each other. Like Poles didn't even get to choose his coach the first time, or even if he did, he chose he didn't get to choose his coach. Then he gets Eberflus, and then he drops him for his like. They're just like a calamitously run organization at the moment. Wait, do the
yeah.
Bears have a negative point differential? They do. Oh my
Uh,
god, they have a -8 point differential.
I don't even see that. Are
Oh,
you?
247 allowed, 239
Oh,
scored.
yeah. Oh, you did math right. Um, yeah, I actually didn't realize their offense was scoring that many points. But again,
Another way, they're like the Vikings 3 years ago. They have a negative point differential.
yeah. So yeah, I
I don't see Peter Bukowski making too many tweets on this, but hey, Peter, you want some more content? Let's fire it up, brother.
and leave the dogs alone.
Oh
Uh,
no, man.
yeah. Uh, Viking special teams elite apparently. I
Uh,
like
I
cool.
guess
I mean, Will is nice. I guess.
Will's nice. Tavier Thomas, please stop holding. But
Yeah, Miles Price, please hold on to the ball. Um,
also, like
yeah.
nitpicking on Miles Price, when you have the ball and it's in the end zone, just take the knee. Just take the knee, man. You get the ball to 35. Just give us good starting field position.
Yeah, I mean Price is electric, but after last week, maybe just a bad week. Had some things going on, so he wasn't holding on to the ball as tight. Um, but yeah, I'm just looking
Looking
at
at the
random stuff
line,
now.
Darisaw is having a down year. I noticed.
Yeah, and I hate being the blame it on injury guy. I don't think that's all that it is, but he's definitely not been him
Byron Murphy
whatsoever.
got paid and doesn't care anymore.
Dude, I swear Fabian Moreau's our best corner. I swear. Am I
I
crazy?
probably, but
Yeah, I'm definitely crazy, but I want a flag plant.
Brian O'Neill has a lot higher of a grade than I thought he would. I
Yeah,
genuinely
he
haven't thought he's been playing well this year. That's weird to me.
yeah.
Hawkinson, yeah, that contract aged really poorly.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
uh
Hmm. I know cinnamon roll. That's victory lapping on that.
he
Uh,
was right. He was
yeah.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I already told him he's right a couple times. This again PFF grading, not the end all be all. Some like I
Yeah,
said,
because
some
Eric
people love
Wilson.
it, some
Look at
people
Eric
hate it.
Wilson should not be
Yeah,
that
this
low.
is what I was gonna point out. I think he's been playing. Whoa, I think he's been playing a little bit better than that. But I guess
Yeah,
PFF
I just
doesn't
want
think
to
so.
touch on that real quick. Off-ball linebackers like low key in need next this offseason
Yeah.
because I think you're seeing just how good this defense can operate when they don't have a guy next to Blake Cashman who kind of just plays by his own rules and tries to enforce chaos in every snap, and some guy who plays within structure, being Eric
Mm,
Wilson. Like imagine if you get like a high-end linebacker like let's say you're in the first round, you miss out on corner, you miss out on safety, you miss out on like I don't know D tackle or guard or whatever other position you look at. If there's like a killer off ball linebacker there, just take him, man.
yeah. And you got to think about like how much longer, and this kind of goes for the whole operation too. Like making sure, like we got to develop McCarthy. It's going to take a little while, but you kind of hope it gets a move on it because how much longer are you going to have Brian Flores? Like I think
I
we
think you're
both
gonna have him a
agreed.
while. I think you're gonna
Yeah,
have him
I
a
know we
while.
both agreed a couple years ago. Like this was never going to be a 1 year, maybe even 2 year thing. Like the man's in a lawsuit with the NFL. He's not going to be a head coach for a couple years. Now we're getting to like he's been here for this is his third year.
I think
Now
you're
we're
gonna have him
getting
for at least another year or two.
oh
I
yeah, I agree.
I just don't think the NFL is ready to reinstate him, unfortunately, as a head coach.
No,
And man, your guys' losses are gained.
yeah, I mean he can stick around. We were
Yeah.
worried about the regression earlier this year, I guess, but
Also,
they're starting to
regression. Talk
come
about
out.
regression. Will Fries, that contract kind of looks brutal at the moment.
Yeah, 43rd guard out of 79. I mean,
It's been average.
has he been the only lineman to start all games this year?
Yes, he has.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, last year he got it. He got his bag
Well,
and
that's
ran.
such a small sample size off last
Yeah,
year's like 3 games.
that's fair. Um, but yeah, that if I had to make a bold
Do we have to have
prediction
a
tomorrow,
start? Do we have to have like a conversation about Chris Cupper, the O line coach? Or
yeah, I think we do. Given Ed
okay,
Ingram's
no,
sudden,
no, no, dude, no, no. We're not talking about you. He's given up one pressure. It's yeah, because the left tackle and right, like center are giving up pressures before he can. It, the Ed Ingram
that's fair.
stats are so misleading.
Yeah. Well, if there's one man that I would put money on that's going to get back on track tomorrow, it would be this man. Eh, Quarterback play matters, of course. Hoops throwing him the ball matters, of course. But Justin Jefferson is one of those guys that should kind of supersede all of that. Uh, I think Jefferson has at least 110 tomorrow, minimum.
I'd love it, man. I fear that this is going to be a game like what Chicago did last year, where they just key in on they key in and say Jefferson's not going to beat us, and it's like an Addison Hawkinson game.
Or
Hawkinson
Naylor.
game, yeah. Hawkinson game feels like such a
Dude, no.
yeah.
like, uh,
I I don't like what is a Hawkinson game? 60 yards.
a loss. That's what a Hawkinson game is. But yeah, 60 yard, maybe. A little bit of running after the catch, potentially. But
Oh,
yeah,
dude, yeah. His legs are gone.
it might be another Naylor game. I don't know. I know I said like he can't. Somebody's got to step up. Naylor can't long term obviously be like your best receiver. He's not. He's never been the best receiver on the Vikings, but he can't be your most productive receiver. Um,
You
I,
got to win this game, though. You just got to win one at home, man.
Jalen, wait, Jalen Naylor's older than Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
he was in school a lot longer. Justin Jefferson only in school for like 3 years.
I was actually having a conversation with a certain cinnamon roll yesterday, and we were reacting to the ages of NFL players.
This is so
Had
inside baseball, by the way.
yeah, had zero idea Geno Smith was 35 years old, but it makes complete sense.
He's 35? I'm
Yeah,
33.
me too. At like 32, 33 tops.
That, yikes, that trade for the Raiders.
Yeah, but well, I think that just about covers it. Screw it. Let's do a score prediction. What you got?
31-20 Vikings.
I
I
like it.
don't. I just. I've had a feeling all week, and the last time I felt this strongly about a game was the game we beat the Lions. I
Mm,
just think that this is like that kind of game where you take it from them, you don't come back. Like I feel like this in a way is like the if you remember the Vikings Cowboys game where we'd come in undefeated off the back of the Bills win and
mm,
just pooped ourselves is the opposite.
yeah, I'd have to agree. Um, I don't know. I think it's gonna be. I think it's one of those games where like it looks the final score doesn't resemble how much the Vikings, I guess, controlled the game for lack of a better term. Because my prediction would have to be 22-19. I will never ever predict a Vikings Bears game to be high scoring, even though in theory it should be, because now the Bears have that offense. And I think the Bears can score points. I think they're running into a good defense that, for the most part, is in the groove because the defense played pretty well last week. I mean, they were putting up with some BS from the offense, but the defense has come on really well since that Chargers game. Um, but yeah, I guess that
It's
just
almost like
about does it.
Andrew Van Ginkle means so much to this
Yeah,
defense.
and Blake Cashman. It's almost like the run defense goes from bad to good with Blake Cashman in the lineup. But that's neither here nor there. We will see you guys, I guess, tomorrow night. Preet?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if we lose, you might not see me, but
yeah. Either way,
no,
you'll see something.
I'm lying. I'll be here. I'll
Yeah,
be here.
you'll see something tomorrow night from us. If you missed the recap last week, from the Ravens game, A, you didn't miss much, and B, I don't think it hit the algorithm, Preet, so it got like 20 views because I had to stop and restart uploading it a million times, and I just don't think people saw it. But that shouldn't be
Honestly, good
the
for them.
case anymore.
Good for them.
Yeah, no, it was a nothing burger. But new computer and everything should smooth that out. But we will see you guys tomorrow night. Hopefully, with good news about the Vikings, good news about JJ McCarthy, and bad news about Nail Painting Boy. We will see you then.
Road to 500, baby.
Skull.